Hey guys, it's been the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for being here today. Come on by sometime if you're in town. Our crew would love to help you out. Also, TucsonCoinshow.com for the annual Tucson Coin and Currency Expo, where we're going to have a good time. Take a vacation to Tucson during the wintertime and happen to go to a coin show. This is the new thing we're doing. And the new thing here is the YouTube. Do the YouTube. And so we've got a question that I'm going to answer. Thanks for your comments as always. And fascinating question for me. We'll see if you guys agree or not on this. We've got, looks like Andrew saying, I say buyer beware. Dealers and coin shops love to sell world coins. The markups are a lot higher because there are very few price guides or comps. And it goes on, he made a secondary comment. So this was a video specifically about some Bolivian and Peruvian cobs that I got in. He says, yeah, including Ben's ridiculous $400 to $600 asking price for damaged and fairly common shipwreck coins that have been quote unquote conserved. Someone else says, I was shocked at how much less Ben was charging for them compared to what I see on eBay. I thought his prices seemed great, but don't know a ton about reals. And then this guy replied back, yeah, eBay is ridiculous. If you are able to attend a coin show or have a local coin dealer, you will see he is not so cheap at all. He knows the market. So there is so many good things to talk about on this comment. Starting with the price point on those particular coins, which just out of pocket, I mean, I paid over $400 each for those coins. And so I think I priced most of them in the low 4 to low 6 range, depending on how I like the coin. He knows the market. Maybe I don't know the market. Maybe I just paid too much for things. Is that because there's no price guide and fewer comps? Yes, that's true. So what's fascinating to me about this entire back and forth in the comment is just some of the concepts of what to buy, not to buy, and why to buy and why not to buy. So should you not buy something because a dealer has a larger markup? At the end of the day, aren't you buying a coin based on kind of what you think the market value is and what he thinks the market value is? So, I don't know that it matters what someone else is into a coin for as far as what the fair market value of a coin is. Now he's saying both of these things separately, right? Saying that, there's a bigger markup, so that's why, dealers like dealing in them. But I don't know that that's a reason why you shouldn't buy a coin. So it's someone else's business, like what they mark up something or margin something, or we make mistakes on both ends. I mean, there's been times when we've made it more on a coin than we thought we would because the market was stronger for something. And there's been plenty of times where we've lost money on coins. There's been, I've shared some of those with you, but there have been lots of coins that I bought that I lost money on. Partially because the coin market in this area that he is touting about, well, there's more fair comps and price guides in other areas of the marketplace. This is very true, but also, price guides are not actually what a coin is worth. So when you look at stuff from the gray sheet, a gray sheet may say something's worth $100, but also, may I actually get $100 for it? What are other dealers willing to pay for it? How much labor goes into selling it? And at the end of the day, if I'm going to a dealer who specializes in world coins, as an example, and they have the coins I want in grades that I can't find anywhere, yeah, I'm going to buy from them. And what's interesting to me about this is once again, here's another concept of, not to buy world coins, because when people tell me or people ask me what should I buy for a future endeavor, because I think that the market could go up better than it could for US coins because it's so watered down, so to speak, I almost always tout ancients, world coins, and paper money, right? And most people look at me and say, okay, but what about Morgan dollars? But I think that in general, if you're a collector, and I'm thinking about world coin dealers I know personally that I go to, they'll have coins priced more than I've seen some of them sell for on eBay, but also uh, they'll have nicer quality, more knowledge, more information. I know I'm getting a real coin. And so there's a lot to be said for that. So in a way, if you're in another business model, say you're having someone remodel your house, do you want to go with the guy who has got the smallest margin and doesn't do good work, right? Or do you want to go with someone who's got a better margin and does better work? Now, I'm not claiming I have a better margins and I do better work, but conceptually, what are we talking about when we are talking about whether or not it matters what someone's margin is on a coin that they purchase? The other comment on this, just generally in the coin market, is lots of big businesses, they'll have a 5% to 10% profit margin at the end of the year, and that's on products that they're selling at 200 and 300% markup. And still, when you see a lot of coin dealers working on a 30% to 5% margin on the product, not a 300, 200, 100% markup on the product, it's a very different business model. So, if I'm intrigued also just by the comment in general, the psychology of, well, buyer beware because, the margins are higher. Like, it's just, to me, a very interesting concept, because still, even if the margins are higher, I still think that you can have higher returns. And I keep going back and back to this conversation I had with a guy in Vegas at the PCGS members only show a couple years ago, and I kind of made some flippant remark about never paying too much for a coin, and his comment was, well, I've paid too much for every coin I ever bought. And I knew in that moment that I was being taught a lesson, because this guy is probably 75. I know just from the conversation and seeing some stuff, I know he has wonderful, wonderful coins. And it's because he didn't care about paying too much for a coin when he knew he was buying a nice coin or a quality coin. Now, once again, this might not apply specifically to these cobs that I have in that $400 to $600 range. If that's not your cat's meow, it's okay. The 1766 pillar dollar that I had there sold right away, and that was above comps. But I can't tell you how many US collectors I showed that coin to in the shop, and they're like, wow, that's beautiful. And go try to find it in the open market. And just because the last one traded at that doesn't mean this one will. So once again, coins are not commodities. And that's one of the things I hate about the US market, is the commodification of the coin market. Like, oh, well, this is an MS-63 Morgan dollar, 1884. Oh, therefore it's worth exactly this much. I still will always contend that it is more comparable to used cars, or maybe even new cars, used houses, maybe new houses. But, these are marketplaces where the coins all look different. Now, of course, the difference is, like on modern, whatever modern, Maple Leafs and Silver Eagles and stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about anything that's going to be older. Each coin is different. Each coin looks different. And so that all goes into this. And if you didn't watch the video on the 8 reals, I'd recommend just kind of clicking on near the end of the video. I had a coin that was just wild. I mean, the coin was just fat and bent up in the middle and just really cool. And for me, I enjoyed it. I thought it was neat, and I think someone else would be proud to own it. So anyways, I really appreciate this comment and the string of conversation back and forth. I'm always happy to say I paid too much for stuff. And I don't mean that I'm happy about paying too much for stuff, because I really need to not do that very often, because I do need to be in business. I do need to stay in business, and there's people who rely on me being in business still. And, like I said, I've never asked someone what his profit margin is when he's selling something, right? Like if a guy's owned something for 30 years, it's not like I'm saying, well, look, but you only paid, $150 for that bust dollar. You greedy jerk. What are you doing? And the comment to the market value is correct. Try to find the right market value on stuff. We do not try to gouge anybody here. When it comes to things that don't have a set value, we try to be within the parameters of the market. And that's what we do. If we don't know the value of something very specific that's kind of weird or cool or esoteric, we'll usually throw it up on an auction. If you got something with weird toning or an error coin, things of that nature, we tend to throw up on an eBay auction. I throw up on eBay all the time, but we put stuff up on eBay and let people decide through the bidding process what they think it's worth. And I try to avoid what I consider to be one-way market coins, which is a coin that I wouldn't like to have back. So I thought these were cool coins. And I love world coins, and I think that there's nothing wrong with having more margin in something than not. But to each his own. If we want to stand around and criticize each other's, margins on stuff, we could. But I don't think it's necessary. But I will say that I appreciate the fact that the question and comments were posed, because it actually got me thinking a lot about just how we view coins and coin collecting. And it's always good to get that type of feedback from a customer or consumer or viewer. And anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. Just whatever, leave your comments. Let me know what you think about having different margins on stuff from dealers and the world market and whatever comes to mind. It's a free-for-all. Thanks for being here. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.